you're going to take this and you're going to put it straight into the radiator cap opening. Next thing you're going to use is your combustion leak indicating fluid. This stuff is bright blue. Today is the day I'm going to start working on the EK again. If you watched the video probably a couple back, you probably saw that I went to a track day and I had a really great time. I was out there lapping the car. I was all by myself and just having a blast, but my day fell short because the EK overheated. I think that's where we're gonna end up. Now we get to go push it. All right. Oh, EK. Why you always gotta be a pain? Now, I was almost positive that it had to be like a thermostat because I have never replaced that. I've replaced everything else on this car that had to be it. It had to be it. But after further consideration and some research and remembering that, in fact, this is a B series, we're going to be doing a head gasket test today. Now, it's not really something that I am looking forward to. I hope it's not, but if it is, you know, I'm going to take this opportunity to do some upgrades. Like, obviously take off the cylinder head. I can send it out, maybe get some CNC, maybe get some cams, you know, some sauce. You know, might as well make it better, right? If I'm going to take it all apart. And I also want to do a new clutch. I bought this complete swap and it had a different clutch with it. I put it all together. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, but honestly, I've never been a fan of the clutch in this car, but I never did anything about it because, well, it ran and it did fine. So I was like, there's no point. But at this point, if it is a head gasket, I might as well just do it. So I can pull the engine out, you know, redo some of the engine bay. I've got some paint cracking in there that I'm not pleased with. And because let's face it, every track car is a show car, right? So I might as well make it to how I want it. So let's get this test done. And remember, if the fluid goes from blue to yellow, I've got a lot of work cut out for me. So let's go see what happens. All right, so how this is gonna work is we're gonna use this kit right here. I got it from the Lyle Corporation. It's about $35 at any auto parts store. What this is gonna do is test to see if you have any combustion gases in your coolant. The first step you're gonna do is make sure your car is cold, take the radiator cap off. You're going to take out about 2 to 3 inches worth of coolant out of the radiator, and then you're gonna put this right here, right into the radiator opening. You're gonna get the blue fluid that comes with the kit and fill it up to this line. You're gonna put the topper on there. You're gonna grab this line and you're going to find a vacuum source. I'm gonna use the vacuum port right off the intake manifold. And then once I've completed all of that, I'm gonna start the car and let it run for about 10 minutes. Now, if this fluid turns blue to yellow, I know I have combustion gases in my coolant, which means I have a bad head gasket. So let's go do this test on the EK and see what I got. All right, so I put the kit back together so you know exactly what you'd be looking for on the auto parts shelf. It has everything you need in here. It's by the Lyle Corporation. I've used this before and it's a really great kit. So first thing we're gonna do is make sure that your car is cold. Now, I haven't started this since yesterday, so it's nice and cold. Took the radiator cap off. If you were to take the radiator cap off and you see that there's coolant in there, like up to the top, you're gonna wanna take 2 to 3 inches out. You can use a turkey baster to suction that out of there. Me, I took my radiator cap off and I honestly can't see any coolant visible, so I'm not gonna be taking out any coolant today. But if you were, use a turkey baster, it'll suction it right out of there. It's a good move. So now we're gonna go ahead and use this. First up, you're gonna take this and you're gonna put it straight into the radiator cap opening, just like that. Next thing you're gonna use is your combustion leak indicating fluid. This stuff is bright blue. You're gonna fill it up to about that line. Just like that. And like I said, as you can see, it's bright blue. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab the cap. The little stopper, you're gonna put it at the top. You are ready for your vacuum line. Now, like I said earlier, I'm going to be using the vacuum port off the intake manifold, and this is gonna create your vacuum. I'm gonna be using this line right here, and I'm gonna wiggle that free, just like that. Now, I put a T in this line, right there. I'm gonna connect this back to the manifold, and then I'm gonna take this end and I'm gonna put it on the top, just like that. And this is essentially what it's gonna look like when you got it all plumbed and ready to go. Now that I've got everything hooked up, it's time to start the car and let it idle for 10 minutes. As you can tell, the fluid is very blue. We're supposed to let the car idle for 10 minutes and see what color the fluid changes to after the 10 minutes. If it goes from blue to yellow, you know that you have combustion gases in your coolant. If it stays blue, you don't have a problem. So let's wait the 10 minutes, let it idle, let's see what color it is. Well, it's been 8.5 minutes and we're already looking not very blue. So I feel like this is gonna mean that we have combustion gases in my coolant, which means I have a blown head gasket. Looks like we're taking out the engine. One thing I do want to touch on is do not take this out right here until the car is completely cooled down. If you take that out while the car is still very hot, you'll have a bad time. You could get burned. Bad things happen. Just don't do it. Don't find out. For you guys, I hope the fluid stays blue and doesn't turn yellow like mine. All right, guys, so that fluid definitely isn't blue anymore. It is definitely yellow. I have combustion gases in my coolant, which means I have a blown head gasket on my Civic Hatchback. Now, I do have a B18C5, and I have gotten so much track time out of that car and that engine that I can't even be upset. Honestly, something was bound to happen, and the fact that it's whatever. I'm trying to think about this positively while we were doing the test, if this was gonna happen, what all the things I was gonna do. And I'm gonna take the cylinder head off, I'm gonna get it sent out. We'll get some fun goods. We'll get a new valve train, port and polish, maybe some cams. Definitely wanna do that new clutch. I wanna repaint the engine bay. I have a lot of things I wanna do. I'm gonna try to have it done in 2 months. I know that seems like a really short amount of time, but I wanna have this car ready for track day season starting in Arizona, which is our winter time, because the temperatures are fantastic. And I wanna take out that car and I wanna have a really good time and try to still be that sub 150 at Arizona Motorsports Park. So time to get to work. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a lot today, and I'll see you next time.